The night of terror, babysitting the creepy twins, Jenna Torres was a college sophomore in desperate need of extra cash when she was offered a babysitting job in the upscale neighborhood of Willow Crest. She jumped at the opportunity. The call came from a wealthy couple, the Atwoods, who needed someone to watch their twin children, Nathan and Nora, for a Saturday evening. The pay was generous, and Jenna figured it would be an easy gig. When Jenna arrived at the Atwood residence, she was awestruck by the mansion's grandeur. The parents greeted her warmly, but seemed distracted and hurried as they prepared to leave. Mrs. Atwood handed Jenna a detailed list of instructions, including an oddly specific bedtime routine for the twins. Nathan and Nora can be a little peculiar, Mrs. Atwood said, her voice tinged with nervousness. Just stick to the schedule, and everything should be fine. Before Jenna could ask what she meant, the couple was out the door. The twins were waiting at the top of the grand staircase, dressed in matching outfits that looked like they belonged in a 19th century portrait. Nathan's piercing blue eyes were unsettling, and Nora's faint, almost sinister smile sent a shiver down Jenna's spine. "Hi, kids," Jenna said with forced cheer. "What do you want to do tonight?" "Play a game," Nora replied, her voice flat and emotionless. Nathan nodded silently. They led Jenna to the dimly lit living room, where they insisted on playing a game called The Keeper's Rules. Jenna had never heard of it, but she went along to humor them. The game involved answering cryptic questions about life, death, and fears. Each time Jenna hesitated, the twins exchanged knowing glances that made her skin crawl. As the evening wore on, their behavior grew stranger. They whispered to each other in a language Jenna didn't recognize, and giggled at private jokes that seemed anything but innocent. When she suggested they watch a movie, they refused, insisting on continuing their game. Around 9 p.m., Jenna decided it was time for bed. She followed the instructions on Mrs. Atwood's list, tucking them into their separate rooms and turning on a nightlight as instructed. Relieved to finally have a moment to herself, Jenna settled on the couch to scroll through her phone. That's when she heard it, a faint tapping sound coming from upstairs. She ignored it at first, assuming it was the house settling, but then it grew louder, more deliberate. Summoning her courage, Jenna crept upstairs. The tapping was coming from Nora's room. She opened the door cautiously and found the girl standing in the middle of the room, staring at the wall. "Nora, what are you doing out of bed?" Jenna asked, her voice shaking. Nora turned slowly, her eyes dark and hollow. "He's coming," she whispered. Before Jenna could respond, Nathan appeared in the doorway, holding a sharp letter opener. His expression was cold and calculating. Jenna backed away, her heart racing. "This isn't funny, Nathan. Put that down." The twins advanced toward her in unison, their movements eerily synchronized. Panicking, Jenna ran down the stairs, grabbing her phone to call the Atwoods, but the line was dead. The twins' laughter echoed through the house as Jenna barricaded herself in the kitchen. She clutched a heavy skillet, ready to defend herself. Suddenly the noise stopped. The house fell silent. Minutes felt like hours before the Atwoods returned. Jenna burst into tears as she recounted what had happened. To her shock, the couple didn't seem surprised. "They've done this before," Mr. Atwood admitted grimly. "It's why we can't keep babysitters." Jenna quit on the spot, vowing never to babysit again. She later learned that Nathan and Nora had been expelled from multiple schools for violent behavior. But what haunted her most was Nora's parting words as she left the house that night. "We'll see you again, Jenna. The keeper always comes back." To this day, Jenna avoids Willow Crest and refuses to talk about that night, except to warn others about the Atwood twins.